you had penned a very insightful article on LinkedIn stating that earlier publishers used to kind of game this SEO thing by publishing a lot of blogs and everything. But now they have lost all this power courtesy AI overview, right? Now people kind of don't have this voting power. Earlier,
Yeah.
if you had more of these backlinks, that would mean that that particular website had more credibility. But now
Mm.
you are just left at the whims of an algorithm, which kind of randomly decides whether your page shows up on the AI overview or not.
Yep.
Do you think this will be bad for publishers, and what's the way out?
It already is. If you look at publishers, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
they're losing on both fronts: search, referral traffic, and they're also losing on social media. So if you put a hyperlink in there, they're frequently
Mm-hmm.
limiting the reach and exposure of any of that. And you're seeing that really hampering legacy journalistic sites and mastheads, news
Mm-hmm.
websites, that kind of thing. I would not want to be investing in any of those businesses right now. And LLMs have just further reduced the barriers to entry in creating these articles, on the
Mm-hmm.
fly automatically
Yeah.
without that friction of hiring a journalist and that kind of thing. So it's been completely commoditized. In terms of the SEO side of things, creating all these blog posts and inner pages would, in the aggregate, create lots of traffic, answer queries, and then the thought was, well, then we get all this traffic, and a portion of that will be sort of high sales intent, or we can kind of nurture these leads if they sign up to newsletter or whatever it was, right? What we're seeing based on data that I've looked at is that there's the homepage is basically the page now, and there's very limited sort of juice going to those any inner pages, right? And that I think is also a result of that, but also those brand signals are really being ratcheted up in terms of the determinant of who ranks and where and who gets mentioned. So things like citations, publications, and the publicity articles. So there are a lot of directories and other sort of signals that big brands will get by virtue, not through the means of traditional SEO, just organically via being a big brand. Certain things will be out there. Partnerships on other people's pages will be mentioning this big brand. Journalists will be writing about them. These people will be appearing at conferences and stuff like that as speakers. So all these brand signals are super important for letting search LLMs know who's big and who isn't. And it's very hard to fake that. You can't fake it by just creating lots of page blog posts anymore. So yeah, that's what I'd say about SEO. Yeah.
As a marketing strategy expert, what would be your strategy to brands like them who are losing out on traffic currently because of AI overview?
Diversify what channels you invest in and how you
Mm-hmm.
generate demand or
Mm-hmm.
sales, or however you want to call it, or whatever goal you're optimizing for. Every sort of channel initiative has its pros and cons, like I said before, and longevity, and goes through sort of phases of yield, I would call it.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe something's very new, TikTok videos back in 2019, huge yield in that if you got on early. But now, good luck trying to get 1 million views,
Mm-hmm.
off the bat without a history of those quality signals. I think the same goes for search. There was a yield, there was a boom, and we've been coming off for a long period of time, and it's just really accelerated the last couple of years with these LMs and AI coming into the market for free. So I would be looking at layering on all your other channels. So as one channel hits sort of diminishing returns, the yield sort of comes down like this. You want to add the next curve, and the next curve, and the next curve, and it goes sort of up like that to sustain your growth trajectory. That requires more investment, different skill sets often. So it is a very awkward transition, but you should be sort of looking at it like yield curves and layering those on. So get started on something else is my advice
Mm-hmm.
as soon as you can.
Great.